Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with Virginia NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of your state chapter, Virginia NORML. It's Friday, September 23rd, 2022, and that means it's time for us to talk all things cannabis in the Commonwealth and answer your burning questions live. Super fun surprise for everyone today. Your face. Cassidy's in the office helping us get ready for tomorrow's event. That's all. It's just the fun is that you're here. You don't have to be here. You can stay over there. But she's really here. Hi, Sherry. Happy Friday to you. Cassidy wishes you a happy Friday as well, but quietly from in the corner where they're packing up merch and helping produce this show. Oh, Sherry, I hope everyone else is as entertained today as Cassidy and I are by our own antics. So here in Richmond, Virginia, Sherry says hi. I guess you can read that on your own computer. Here in Richmond, Virginia, also in the state of Virginia, for some reason, despite it being, the very end of September, we're celebrating Pride, because that's how we do. So Virginia NORML will be at Virginia Pride Fest tomorrow. So if you're in the area, come by. It's free, and you can see us in person, and you can get cool swag from us, because that's how it works. So I hope we see you tomorrow. Fortunately for Virginia, it was a slow news week for cannabis. The only thing we really saw was a rehashing of the same article that we talked about last week. Virginia Beach is considering creating a task force within the city council to discuss cannabis before retail sales begin. I think every outlet has run that story now, but the pilot wrote about it last week. So if you want to read more about it, go ahead. Wade, hello, welcome. What did you miss? Well, you missed that Cassidy is over there on the other side of the office, both producing the show and packaging up merchandise for tomorrow's big event that we'll be at. Otherwise, you didn't miss anything, Wade. And hello, Fred. Happy Friday to you as well. Otherwise, generally a quiet week for cannabis in Virginia. I have had some meetings with members of the General Assembly to discuss what we're going to do next year, what the overall strategies are for each caucus, and how they're going to work together. So that's been a good time. Hello, MD. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Welcome back. What else? I have this whole little list of things right here. Now, not only is tomorrow Pride, but tomorrow is also the second annual Can Atlantic Conference. It is 100% virtual, so you can check it out from wherever you are. Cassidy is dropping the details for that in the chat right now. We have a presentation that will air at 3 o'clock tomorrow, I think is our time slot for Virginia. It's the state of cannabis in Virginia, which of course you all get up close and personal with each week already. What else? So join us virtually tomorrow at the second annual Can Atlantic Conference. Jeff wants to know, why is Kentucky so lame? Well, I think you mean cannabis policy wise, Jeff. And the states with the lamest cannabis policies, if I can say it that way, tend to be those states that one would classify as red. Conservatives aren't known for being forward-thinking on cannabis policy in the United States, and that's what we are seeing. So I think that's what Kentucky's problem is. But Jeff, you do have a fantastic Kentucky NORML chapter. You should definitely get involved with them if you aren't already, because Lauren is a delightful human. People's choice. Okay. Hey, Scott in Norfolk down there in Hampton Roads, where you have your Pride in June, like normal people. At least it's not going to be hot tomorrow. So we got that on Hampton Roads. Yes, Tom, Mitch McConnell is a person and a terrible one. What else happened this week? So a little bit of news from the Hill. The House Judiciary Committee, this is the U.S. House of Representatives, the Judiciary Committee approved measures to help seal and expunge marijuana arrests. We have a blog up for this on NORML, of course. But while the House has approved this, now it's up to the Senate to take action. The measures are the Clean Slate Act and the Fresh Start Act, and the committee that they went through, the Judiciary Committee, is chaired by Representative Jerry Nadler, who is the chief co-sponsor of the MORE Act, which has passed the House multiple times, passed the full House for a second time this April. But the Clean Slate Act automatically seals many non-violent federal marijuana convictions and creates penalties for anyone improperly sharing information about individual sealed convictions. Now, we know about that here in Virginia because we have the same problem where, while it might be sealed, third-party companies grab up these data and they don't stop sharing it. The Fresh Start Act, which is the other one, provides tens of millions of dollars in federal funding to help states facilitate the automatic expungement of convictions from marijuana violations, among other offenses. So legislatures in nearly 24 states, like Virginia, have enacted laws authorizing the expungement of low-level cannabis convictions. And over the past few years, state officials, this is around the country, not just here in Virginia, have vacated an estimated 2.2 million marijuana-related convictions under these years. So Fresh Start Act would encourage additional states to follow suit and would provide funding to facilitate that. So now it's up to the Senate. They have the opportunity to follow suit by, passing substantive legislation that can do the same things, but the time for them to act really is running out. So that's in the hands of the Senate. Let's see what is happening over here. It's cool in Hampton Roads too. Yes, it is now, Scott, but it wasn't in June. That's what I meant. Hey, Jim Dandy. Jim is asking this question. It's a big question. Let's show it. Do we have any insight into the progress or lack thereof with the SAFE Act? Yeah. So Jim Dandy wants to know if we have any insight on SAFE and doesn't really understand, like most people with brains, why Congress isn't moving forward with this and why some people don't want to pass the Safe Banking Act. I don't have any special tips or, I don't have any hot tips for you on SAFE right now. We have an action alert on the NORML website. Cassidy's going to grab that action alert for you. That really will include all of the up-to-the-minute safe banking information. Interestingly, since you brought it up, Jim Dandy, earlier this month, there was a survey done commissioned by the Independent Community Bankers of America, in which the overwhelming majority of voters believe that federal law should be amended so that state licensed cannabis businesses could readily utilize banks and other financial services. So lots of public support for it, plenty of support in some parts of Congress, but it's yeah. So I'm reading a little bit about it right now. It's still pending in Congress, of course. And as recently as July, the House voted again in favor of it, including that language and as part of broader legislation. So, we've taken different approaches. I see someone else mentions it somewhere down here. Fonts. People need a huge package all at once. It's in a small bill, basically. Oh, Fonts, you got it right there, my friend. Yeah, so there's been a number of efforts with SAFE to move it as standalone, move the language inside of other pieces of legislation. I think what Fonz is alluding to here is that people want it to be part of some other giant cannabis-related bill, and they're not willing to take these incremental steps. But I think that's sort of like fantastical thinking that you're going to demand everything, and if you don't get everything you want, you're going to just take your ball and go stand in the corner. And I don't know what kind of pillow of privilege folks like that rest their head upon at night, but here we're used to incremental progress because you got to take what you can get. It's not to say give up, it's to say keep moving forward. Dave brings this up. Has anyone addressed the issue of ownership of firearms and cannabis use? I mean, specifically in Virginia, no. Virginia doesn't have a guns and weed law, interestingly. And as far as NORML's position on this, it's really up to the individual how they answer the background check form when they're purchasing firearms. So, but I will also take this opportunity, since you brought it up, Dave, to mention that Nikki Fried, who is the commissioner of ag in Florida, is speaking at the NORML Key West legal seminar, which is obviously in Key West as it's named, this December. Nikki Fried, Commissioner Fried, will be speaking specifically on her work to ensure the right to own firearms for those who use cannabis. So you can check out more about that and Commissioner Fried's talk at norml.org/Key West. Hello, Ryan. Happy Friday to you as well. Oh, I bet, Louis. Thanks for bringing that up. Oh, MD, I think you might be responding to someone else, but talking about expungement. Yeah, we have really, Virginia has expungement when you are found not guilty or when a charge is dismissed because there isn't ample evidence. But we have record sealing, and that's automatic in Virginia. We don't really have true expungement yet in Virginia, or we're not even, I don't want to say we're not working on it, because it's like we're not working on it, but even the next step of expungement, as it's been laid out in Virginia, is really just a deeper record sealing process. Okay, I have this sitting on my desk, and I want to show you some more. You can get this if you come see us at Pride, and then we will have these at the Pumpkin Festival, Scott's Edition Pumpkin Festival, assuming they don't sell out, and I don't remember how many of these we got. We might have enough for the web store. Well, I closed it a little too hard. So look, it's got a little keychain, and it's shaped like a coffin because it's a coffin, but It's a little ashtray with a leaf. I guess that's where you put your smoking product. But isn't it cute? Isn't it just the cutest, creepiest thing you've seen? Yeah, you should come see us at Pride and get these. And Scott's Egyptian Pumpkin Festival and possibly our web store, but not until we know how many we have left. You're welcome, MD. What else happened this week, Cassidy? Oh, recent polls show support for the 2022 legalization initiatives. A number of states have ballot initiatives or voter referenda on their ballots. You can find a complete list of that at NORML's Election Central, as well as follow all of these legalization efforts. That's going to be at norml.org/election, NORML Election Central. But there was a number of polls that were done recently indicating that voters widely support these efforts. I know, this must come as such a shock to all of you, but we did a blog that lays out support for Maryland, for Missouri, for Arkansas, North Dakota, South Dakota, a number of efforts underway in Texas, local efforts in Texas as well. Rhode Island has some 31 towns deciding on measures. Cassidy's making noise over there in the corner. It's great. Oh, hello, Jennifer, watching on YouTube this time. Happy Friday. My finger hurts. Happy September Pride to you as well. Let me just go ahead and pop this right up here. Is Virginia at all discussing patients' rights bill? So doctors are barred from denying treatment for medications to qualified cannabis patients. No, we aren't discussing that. I can talk to some people. Sounded really stupid. I can talk to some people about that. We'll run that up the flagpole and see how far it gets. Thanks for bringing that up, Jennifer. Jim needs a home loan, Dandy. Hilarious. Hey, Jim, you're welcome for taking your question. Oh, I will mention this to my colleague who works on federal policy. Thanks for bringing it up. Jim needs a home loan, Dandy. Oh, hey, David in Minnesota. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right, MD, bringing out some bold words here. Our new governor has, MD brings up, our new governor, meaning here in Virginia, has he done anything grave against our cannabis community, or do we expect him to? Well, you might recall, MD, that earlier this year, new penalties for possession of marijuana did in fact take effect. We didn't write that language. The legislature didn't write that language, but there it is. It's with the new marijuana misdemeanors. It came through in the budget. Does it come through in the budget? I can't remember how time works anymore. Yeah, in the budget. It's new marijuana misdemeanors. So yeah, we've seen some improvements that we had asked for. We asked for some clarification regarding personal possession at home, and we got that cleaned up. But at the same time, we got possession in public over 4 ounces is now a misdemeanor. So it's kind of a mixed bag, MD, but yep. this just isn't a policy area that I think there's a lot of interest in for the current administration. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ooh, all right. Good news in Arkansas. Their legalization measure was approved for their November ballot. Bad news in Oklahoma. Court ruled that legalization cannot be on the ballot there this November. Oh, yeah, Michael. So Michael asked if there's any hope to clean up the 4-ounce possession this session. So the way it's written right now, everything is called marijuana. There are no equivalency amounts for concentrate products, edibles, etc., non-flower products. Everything is just 4 ounces. So it is the Cannabis Control Authority that will promulgate those regulations, and they're working on that. So we'll see the authority. What most likely will happen is they'll make a recommendation, and then we'll try to legislate that. We'll see how it goes, because I think getting any bill through, even bills that both caucuses won, is still going to be difficult to move cannabis legislation through this body. Fonz has a question. So I don't think Fonz, despite Youngkin, Governor Youngkin being a quote businessman, I don't think that's wetting his whistle, so to speak, on cannabis in the Commonwealth. He seems to be entirely disinterested in that policy as a whole. So unfortunately, despite it being, a multi-million-dollar industry for the Commonwealth, crickets. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I see lots of new people joining. Happy to see you here. Thanks for coming. We're kind of wrapping up now. Wherever you're watching, please just take a quick second to go hit that like, follow, or subscribe button so you never miss a live from NORML. As I mentioned, we'll be at Virginia Pride Fest tomorrow here in Richmond. Hope you'll come by, say hi, get some cool merch. But if you can't see us in person, you can always check out our Facebook shop for lots of cool Virginia NORML swag. Oh, Jim in Arkansas, you're welcome. Congratulations, Arkansas. Thanks, Cassidy. Appreciate you putting that stuff right there. Hey, MD. Oh, I'm gonna be bold. So MD says, I see more and more such scary garbage out there, like unregulated cannabis products. I'm going to assume is what you're referring, MD, be it labeled CBD or hemp or Delta, whatever, and unregulated. We'll just call it unregulated cannabis products. Yeah, I mean they continue to pose a risk to consumers because consumers know that cannabis is legal in Virginia, and that's generally about what they know. So when they see products for sale, they think it's because it's legal, and they think it's been tested and that it's safe. And when products are created outside of a regulatory landscape, and then you set them on fire and inhale them, or they contain highly concentrated extractions that have potentially been made in questionable ways, like it's not it's not whether or not a product has cannabinoids or whether it has THC in it. Often that's like the least of your concerns with those types of products. You have no idea what types of adulterants could be in there, heavy metals, pesticide residues, solvent residues, things like that. So it's because of that that these products continue to pose risk to consumers. But we'll see what the legislature wants to do about that. Whew. Thanks, David and Scott. You are correct on that. Hey, tomorrow is Saturday. That means the weekend weed read comes out about 9 in the morning. And if you want to that to hit your inbox, you're going to want to head to norml.org/subscribe. Make sure you check the weekend weed read box, and then you'll never miss an issue of that because it'll come to your inbox. Thanks, Cassidy. Look, you're in person. I can say thank you to you. You're like, oh, that good work you're doing. I love it. And of course, tomorrow is the second annual Can-Atlantic Conference. It's virtual, so you can check out our report on the state of cannabis in the Commonwealth. I think it airs at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Hey, everyone. I hope you are loving this new cool weather as much as we are here in Richmond. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend wherever you are. I hope we get to see you tomorrow at Pride if you're in Richmond. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye.